I've been asked by a few subscribers to do a video on the blue route at Sherwood Pines. I've got bits and bobs of the blue route in quite a few of my videos, but I don't think I've ever actually videoed the blue route from start to finish. I know the route's changed various times over the last couple of years, but this is the current 2021 blue route, and it joins just a couple of sections into the green. We'll veer off to the right in a minute and join what is known as the Viking Trail, or the blue route. So hope you enjoy it. If you're thinking of coming to Pines, you've not been before, there are some really nice bits on the blue. Nothing technical, ideal for families. There's a good bit of pedalling. There are some nice flowy bits of sections as well, so enjoy. First section nice and mellow. Over to my right hand side is where the new campsite is. Looks pretty full, you probably can't see it on the camera. It's proven really popular. This next section is a relatively new bit to the blue. If you've ridden here a few years ago, we would have turned right in a minute and gone down through the woods, but they've incorporated an old bit of the red route into a nice new flowy bit on the blue, which you'll see in a minute. So over to the right down there, that's where the blue used to go. Can still go down there, but you're missing this lovely new flow section that they've put in, which crosses over the fire road and into the woods, then out towards the push-up trails where the downhill sections are as well. I'm not breaking any records today. It's a nice easy amble round. I have just done a lap of the red, to be fair. For the first time ever, I forgot to switch my Strava on. If it's not on Strava, it didn't happen. Nice little section this, short but sweet. But you used to come pedalling up this off the red. I think it was called Marching Not Fighting when it was part of the red. And if you come down there at a fair bit of speed, it's a good bit of fun. And straight off into the woods. Might be a little bit of traffic on here tonight, but not seen too many people. I've seen a family go in front of me a couple of minutes ago, so I might pop up with them a bit further round, or they might leave me for dust. We'll see. If you can hear an annoying squeak on my bike, it's not actually my bike, it's my bloody trousers on the seat. I put some back to black stuff on it to clean the seat up the other day, and it's brought the seat up lovely, but it's squeaking like hell, so I don't think I'll be using that again. Thought it was my bottom bracket, but it's not. Dark on the camera through here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. bit pedally through this bit. There's a few nice down bits. There's a couple of big steep hills, so if you're out with young families, it can be a bit challenging for them pedalling if they're not used to riding. But for most people, it's a nice steady route. Oh, yeah. Nice little fast section just around this corner. They have resurfaced it in the last 12 months, took out some of the bumps, which I personally preferred it before. It's a bit more challenging, but made it a bit more family friendly. Used to be a little drop off just here. I just smoothed it out now. Can get a little bit of air off it if you hit it with enough speed, or you're really good at jumping, which I'm not. So over to your right, that's where I normally come into Pines from home, and this is the start of the push-up trails. So when you get to the top of the hill, you've got your downhill sections on your left, where the blue route just carries straight on. And it's normally at this point in videos that I switch the camera off, because this bit is a bit of a drag and a bit slow getting to the top, unless you're on an e-bike. But for the purpose of the video, I'll leave the camera rolling and you can hear me huffing and puffing as I go up the hill. Oh yeah. You can hear the squeaking on my seat as soon as I sit down. As soon as I'm out the saddle, it stops. Normally get overtaken coming up here by half a dozen e-bikes, or some of the Pine cycles lot that are extremely quick. If you want to do a bit of exploring while you're up here, there are some nice little bits over to my right. There's a few cut throughs, takes you off piste. You've got the desert right over yonder, some nice bits over there, but you get a lot of motocross bikes up there. Avoid it if it's really muddy, because it does get bad. As you can see today, it's very, very dry. So just here on your left hand side, cut through, follow it right round to the left. You get to the ramp at the start of the downhills, and there's 5 or 6 lines you can choose down there. Or if you go right before getting to the downhills, you'll get to the bike park, which thankfully they've decided to leave. We're going to tear it down last year. Thankfully they've decided to leave it. There is a cut through to the bike park at the very bottom of this hill, just after the berm as well. An easier way in. A couple of routes and stuff down here, but nothing too technical. A nice big sweeping berm, which I almost just lost the front end then, so I'm still carrying way too much air in this front tyre. I've taken loads out already, so I need to sort that out. If you go right here, that takes you onto the very old part of the Blue Route. A bit overgrown and not used very often now. It's not very much fun, so I wouldn't recommend it unless you just fancy riding it. This is a relatively new bit of the Blue, the last probably 18 months. It's just quite nice, pedally, but it's a nice flowy section. Come down here really early in the morning before anybody else is out. You'll probably see quite a few deer roaming along the trails, coming out of the woods either side. Over to this left hand side where we are now is the Dragon's Back, and leading up to the fishbowl, some nice off-piste stuff over there as well. Can be a bit tricky to find if you've never done it before. If you stop and ask somebody on the trails, they'll probably be able to tell you. Failing that, check out some of my other videos. I have done a couple of videos of the fishbowl and the Dragon's Back and various other off-piste bits in. So check those out as well. Way too much air in my tyres and fly in my mouth. I'm not going to stop and let any air out. I'll keep the video rolling. I'm conscious of time. And I'm starving. I'm ready for some tea. This route is ideal for families. It's great for other riders as well. If you want to go for a really fast lap, it's good for your fitness. But if you're bringing the family out for a nice steady ride out, it's absolutely ideal. I normally tag this on to the end of a red route lap, something like that, if I want to get a few miles in. But I do enjoy riding it. Not challenging, but beautiful environment. A day like today where the weather's been glorious, really nice as well. Does fare reasonably well in the wet, the Blue Route as well, unlike the red, which struggles to get rid of the water sometimes. But the Blue's not too bad. You might get the odd couple of static puddles, but nothing that's going to really slow you down or affect you too much while you're riding. So again, this section that we're on now used to be part of the red. I think it was called the Donkey Walloper, coming in the opposite direction. It's now the tail end of this nice new blue bit. I think they've done a really good job. I sound like a bit of an anorak, don't I, on Sherwood Pines? Perhaps ought to go on mastermind. But I'm lucky, this is on my doorstep literally, so I get to ride here probably more often than most people. Although I have noticed on Strava recently quite a few people nicking the local legend badges off me because I've not been on the bike as much as I'd like to while I train for London Marathon. But once that's done in October, I'm sure I'll be back out here as soon as I can, as often as I can, in between riding some other great places as well. So that's the end of that nice section. Red route comes out to your right, joins this fire road for just a little bit and then splits left onto the red, or to your right to carry on the blue, and eventually merges back onto the green route. We'll see when we get a little bit further round. There is a part of the blue, and I don't know if it's an official part of the blue route or whether it's part of the running route, but there is a bit on the right hand side as you go down the big hill of the green that runs parallel, and it's a bit more gnarly than the rest of the blue and a bit more challenging, but it's good fun. But they've been in the forest doing loads of work this year and they've not quite put all the trail back together, so you'll get to the end and it's quite rutty and difficult to navigate the last little bit, and I'll point it out as we get there. But it is a nice alternative if you fancy something a little bit different, a bit more challenging. Just veer off to the right when I tell you shortly, and there's an alternative route. This section here you just have to watch for if you've never been here before. The red comes out in a minute immediately on your left from Sniper Alley, and it's quite a fast section, and you don't really expect somebody coming and full speed ahead at you coming out of this section here on your left, and there's not really any warning signage to say it's two-way traffic, so people do tend to ride in the middle of the trail or on the right hand side of the trail, not expecting somebody to come off at speed hurtling towards them. So if you're out with young families, just watch out for that bit, because I've seen it catch a few people out. This is probably the one bit in winter of the blue that gets boggy when it's been really bad. It's lovely and dry at the minute. I'm getting ready for a new front chainring on this bike soon. This one's served me very, very well though. Well over 4,000 miles on it. Still probably got a bit of life left in it, but I'll look at changing it sooner rather than later. If you come here on a Saturday morning as well, not the minute, but when park runs start back up, if you arrive here around about 9 o'clock, you'll probably stumble across about 500 park runners going round the majority of the green route. So if you're coming off the blue, you may suddenly find yourself in the middle of a load of runners wondering what the hell's going off. But park run's not started back up yet due to COVID, but I don't think it'll be long. I'm quite looking forward to that. Not run Pines Park Run for well over 12 months now, probably 15 months. But it just joins the top of the blue route in a minute at the top of this section.
Well done.
Oh, yeah.
To the right, mate, so we're being overtaken. Come into the side.
No, he's doing all right.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's just a bit unpredictable sometimes.
He's got more balance than I had at his age.
Go on then, Jesse, stay over to the
Well
side.
done, mate. Thank you. So we're now joining the green route just down there. Pretty sure it's now a 5k or 10k running route, which is good fun on the bike. But I think this is more the official blue route section that's now joined onto the green. There's a nice long downhill section in a minute. Just a straight fire road. You can get a bit of speed up if you put in a bit of effort at the top. And if you're running park run, it's a welcome relief, this bit. You just get to grab your breath a little bit before you start climbing back uphill again towards the end. And you're now back on the green route, heading back towards the Visitors Centre Pines Cycle. I think really they should put some better get the teeth in, get some better signage for the end of the blue route, because I know the first time I rode that I thought I was lost. I was wondering where the rest of the blue had gone, and it was a while before I realised it just merges into the green. On the green you will get lots and lots of dog walkers, families out walking, sedgeways at a weekend, out doing tours, so it can get quite busy on here, and a load of park runners on a Saturday morning if you're here at the wrong time. But effectively you're now back on the green, and we just follow this route all the way back to the Visitors Centre. I think this route is slightly shorter than the old blue route as well. The other one used to take you right out to the outskirts of Pines before heading back in, joining back on where we did, but I think it was a little bit longer. But I think the route that they've got now for the blue is a lot better than the old one. And again, you've got bits of red route just to your right hand side that merge onto here, and then veers off again left to over the top section. But we're just carrying straight on all the way now back to the Visitor Centre. It probably looks like we're riding flat on this, but we are going up a bit of a gradient, and on a park run at the very end of your 5k this is quite draining if you've been putting on some effort. But the park run will veer off here left, but we're going straight on. I've had a few runs along there where my legs have been absolutely tired as hell, chasing after a time, chasing after a PB. If running's your thing, this is a great place to come for a 5k park run. Great route, lots of ups and downs. It's not a PB course, but it's a beautiful environment, and it's really well supported by all the volunteers, and it's got regular turnouts of 500 plus. Good fun, if that's your thing. Yeah, just at this end of this section, we'll turn left in a minute and start heading back. You can go straight on, and if you look to your right hand side, when you turn the corner, you'll see a fantastic property sat in its own little bit of woodland. It's got a big fence around it. You can walk right the way around the perimeter and see through the front gate. It's an absolutely stunning property. Not sure who it belongs to. Obviously very well off, but what a place to have your house backing onto this. But you'd also never know it was there unless you went looking for it. Very well secluded, but it's massive. Reminds me of Croft Manor from Tomb Raider games, if you ever play any games. Not quite as grand as Lara Croft's house, but pretty impressive. I'm gibbering on a bit now, just trying to fill time up before we get back to the car park. We're nearly at the end. Not too exciting this bit now. And this squeak on my seat's doing my head in. There we go, final straight. Got to go up on your left hand side. The red route comes out in a minute. At the end of that, you'll see a guy come out in a minute and just see his head. And straight down towards a cafe and Pine Cycles. So there we go, that's a full tour of the Blue Route. Hope you enjoyed that. Enjoy it if you're next planning on coming up here. So it's an ideal one for the family. I'm now dropping back onto the green route again on my way home because it's the quickest way. So if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. Give the video a thumbs up, really means a lot. It's great to get some feedback from people that are watching and enjoying the videos. So thank you to everybody that's asked for this video to be made. Appreciate it might not be everybody's cup of tea, but there's clearly a lot of people interested in coming to Pines and seeing what it has to offer, and the Blue is a good way to start. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.